Latinos Out Loud podcast. Yeah, that's what it is. Latinos Out Loud.
Yo. Oh, feels so good. Yo. What's up? It's the podcast. That's what's up. Yo. I don't even yo anymore. I don't yo. I just do
You need some
comes
water,
out.
Rachel, for your yos today?
Yeah.
I do sound a little, Newport heavy. You know what I mean? Like I
Yum.
sound a little B.
Menthol.
Arthur-ish.
It smells like
Rest
menthol.
in peace. Yeah.
Welcome to the LOL podcast.
I'm a little baritone today, aren't I?
I'm Rachel a smoker.
Oh! Jamie! I'm really gonna mess up my larynx doing the Jamie, but I'm gonna keep on doing the Jamie.
Yeah, don't do it today,
because
Rachel.
just-
Please, I don't want you to get hurt. I'll do it.
Yeah, we need
All right,
the
I'm
voice.
not
We
gonna
need you.
do. I'm
We
not gonna
need
do
you. We
the
got a long day,
Jamie
chill.
anymore. That's it. I'm gonna save my voice. Hello, brethren. Hello, hermanos. How are
Hey,
you? I just
chilling.
want to kick off by saying, yes, this is the Latinos Out Loud podcast. Great. We know that.
Mhm.
that. That's just in the books, in the libros.
Facts.
Did you know that it's Latino Heritage Month? Anybody? Hashtag LHM.
Ooh, shit.
You know what I'm
Latino
saying?
Heritage Month.
Wave your flags in the air like you just don't
Don't-
care.
I'm seeing them all over the neighborhood. I love it.
Wave with banderas.
Yeah.
Cling,
It's the-
cling. I'm Dominican. I don't know. Welcome. Hi. It's your amiga. We're celebrating Latin XYZAQ Heritage Month. I tend to like interchange, but hi, I am the non-interchangeable Rachel La Loca.
What's up? This is Jay Fernge.
What's up, guys? It's Frank Nibs from Up in the Heights. You know what I'm saying? Frankspiracy in the building. You know how
Oh,
we
I
do.
can't even. Oh,
Frank,
God.
before we even start anything on this episode, Frank, I saw a picture of you chilling. Like, we know that you chill on the rooftops
Yeah.
of your
Yeah.
building, right?
Mhm.
But I saw a picture of you, and I think Rachel did too, from two different people, of you chilling on a scaffolding, on top of a scaffolding.
You know what?
Please, give more explanation to that.
I can summarize it because I've done it twice now. You have to have basic, or I would say intermediate parkour skill
Oh, wow.
in
Well,
order to
basically, you got to go through my
ascend.
window, my living room window. We go through there, and then I put a little table out there. Hors d'oeuvres, a little drink. We get it
Hors
on.
d'oeuvres.
Yeah, bring the light out.
Wow.
It is nice. I sweep it up, really nice.
Uptown luxury.
There you go. It doesn't get any better than Uptown like that. You know what I mean? Nice out in the street. It's nice. A lot of nice trees covering us. In the
It's
daytime you're there,
actually
you could
perfect.
even barbecue out there.
It's perfect.
It's beautiful.
Well, this is
Yeah.
great to hear. As I'm very interested to hear, like, how you, do your thing, how you relax, how you, some
I
people go to
always fun-
parks, some people go to, spas, but you decide to go on top of a scaffolding. So that's pretty
Hey,
cool.
That's
That's
what's
pretty
living in the
cool,
city
Frank.
about. It's about being,
Oh, God.
using your noggin and using what's around you, to create your own
Nah.
paradise. So you know how we do.
It's a really stable structure. Having been there twice now, I do feel safe. However, yeah, I need a hand out so I can take that final leap onto the scaffold. It's quite a big leap for someone who's 5'2". You guys probably, Jamie, I'm telling you, just brush up on the parkour, you're fine.
Yeah, I don't want you getting hurt. I don't want no sprained ankles or anything.
Well,
Jamie.
no,
I need
I
you to be
sprained my
prepared.
ankle. I sprained my ankle just just walking down like a steep hill. So
Oh, so you might want like those suction cups that suck on the building to
Yeah,
guide you out, because it's a journey. It's not even that bad, but you know what is also a little scary is Los Espookys.
I see.
oh,
Yo, that thing.
they're back. Says Spookies
Yo.
is back for season 2.
Nice. Halloween's
Yes.
coming too. Wow.
It's a perfect show for the season, for the
Word.
Halloween October season. And you guys, Rachel and Frank, got to interview the cast
Yeah, that
about
was-
season 2.
That was crazy.
Yes.
Wow.
We had
How
a
did-
really nice time. Jamie, we were invited back to the Los Espookys fiesta, back to the party, because we were invited for their press junket for season 1
Yeah.
out in Brooklyn. And we went out there a while back, and it was really amazing to have sat with Fred Armisen, who I think everyone in this room can agree is one of our heroes in
Mhm.
comedy and sketch
He's
comedy,
great.
right, Jamie?
Yeah,
Um,
no, I love Fred Armisen.
so we had the chance to talk to Julio Torres, Ana Fabrega, Bernardo Velasco, Cassandra Ciangherotti. I really hope I said it right. And I want to apologize officially on this podcast to Cassandra for really, I'm just going to say it, annihilating her last name.
Man, you butchered it.
It was a hard one for me. I'm sorry. But with the utmost respect for Cassandra. I mean, Cassandra was on in her trailer on set somewhere, which was super cool. But man, does my heart go out to her in that, like, wow, thank you for giving us the time for the Latinos Out Loud podcast while you're working, where your brain is probably in your character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're working on a film, she's a really well-known actress, Mexicana actress. And then Bernardo Velasco, also these people all have quite like the impressive backgrounds. And then Julio, we've seen him perform live here in New York, so it's always nice to like follow the trajectory of those that we have seen on the come up. And it's
Yeah.
really nice when they're Latino, and then we're
Right?
like, whoop whoop, keep your TV writing, go.
I really like what they're doing, and I like shows that kind of just, they're not just giving you the like, hey, it's a bunch of friends that live in a loft in New York City, right? It's like, oh, this is some interestingly like
Yeah.
weird shit going on.
Super
So
weird shit.
yeah. I like that. And Julio he's always on his own comedic wavelength anyway, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna do my own thing. So
Yeah. I remember you guys did a skit with him on an Harmonic. Remember when he came out there? It was like about 4
Yes.
years ago. He came all the way to Washington Heights. And
yeah, when he was just
So
starting
cool.
SNL.
yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So
True.
he's had a great trajectory. So I'm looking forward to hearing this interview, y'all.
All right.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. All right, so let's get to it. Check it
All
out with
right.
the cast of Los Espookys. It is such an honor to have these folks on the Latinos Out Loud podcast, some of them again. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. We're talking to Ana Fabrega, Julio Torres, Bernardo Velasco, Cassandra Ciangherotti.
Yeah.
That was great. That was actually great.
Yeah.
Well, I had to make up for how I effed up on that badly.
Totally
Guys,
fun.
congratulations, season 2 of Los Espookys. This has been a journey for y'all. This is a universal show, people, but how it celebrates Latino talent and all of y'all. Shout out to Fred Armisen, who's not here, who was in the building the first time around. I'd love to kick off this interview by asking you guys about some differences that you felt season over season. What are some things that any different approaches, anything that you felt different in season 1 versus season 2 of Los Espookys? This is open to everybody.
Mhm.
I think going into season 2, we just knew the show so much better, having one season, completed and knowing the characters better and knowing their world better. And I think it allowed us to write like a better version of the show and to elevate and really expand on things that we, different ideas and things that we had in season 1. It feels like season 2 really feels like an evolution of the show in a really positive way. And it just comes from the experience of having, a season under our belts.
And Julio, what are the obstacles perhaps on, writing a script that has Spanish and English in it and balancing it out, Sometimes some words in Spanish don't translate to English and vice versa. How is that process?
I would say that the biggest obstacle is keeping track of who has which script and making sure every actor has a script in a language they understand.
Because there's like
Wow.
an English script,
It's so many files.
all Spanish, and then there's a bilingual version.
Wow.
And sometimes like an English actor gets a Spanish script, and then the Hispanic actor.
And then it's like sometimes an actor shows up to say, I'm like, did you get the script? Yes, but it was in English, so I didn't understand it. Like, no. So that's the biggest obstacle.
Okay.
And so, Bernardo, I would love to talk about your character a little bit. Am I mistaken, or does Bernardo find love this season? Tell us about what Bernardo finds.
for this second season, I find more electric vibes. I love the way that how the visual language it's way different from the first season. I really like some of the experiments that visually were they were playing the creators and the directors, and yeah, I think I really enjoyed the contact with these new characters that bring more meaning to the to the own view of the Spookies for themselves. In the case of Ronaldo, I really love to be around with Karina, with Martin. It was great to share with her. She is very talented.
Julio, you've really evolved. We've been just showcasing your evolution. You come up from time to time when we're talking about writers doing it. One of the things I really love about your creative is that, first of all, Julio Torres is who he is. Like, you spew creativity, and I want to talk about maybe how, Julio Torres is on set, and if some of the things that you've done leading to Los Espookys sort of come out of you, like the UCB training, the sketch writing. How does that all fold into who you are today after season 2 of Los Espookys?
I actually ended up doing some shows at UCB, but I actually never was a UCB student.
No, but we saw your show. You had a late night show that you did.
Oh yeah. I had a few one-off things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a few one-off things there, but I don't know. I was always roaming around, finding interesting people, and that's where I met and doing a lot. I did a lot of shows in the backs of bars and stuff, and that's where I met Anna, doing little shows here and there. But I always knew that I wanted to be a creator and a writer. So when I'm on set, I think that's what I'm mostly thinking about is about the project as a whole, and I'm mostly cranky that I'm wearing a wig that's really hot and clothes that are kind of scratchy, and then I'm why did I write this for myself? I like the idea of it being a collaboration between everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about a collaboration, the costume design on the Spookies is off the meter. The production design off the meter. George Zambrano, Muriel Para did an amazing job. As actors, I know that has a huge effect on you guys. The set design, the costume. Tell us how that process is and what it does to you as actors.
Yeah, Jorge and Muriel are so talented, and they really understand the show, and they're so funny, and they have a great sense of humor, and they create the worlds that we write. And then when you get in them, it's so easy to act when you're oh, everything is here for me. I'm already in that space. It's so much easier than if you were trying to pantomime it and just a black box. It's it makes it a lot easier when so much of the work is just about really believing the space you're in and the clothes you're wearing and everything. And they do such an amazing job of taking what's on the page and bringing it to life.
Mm.
So maybe we could talk a little broad strokes about Latinos in horror. Now that you have 2 seasons under your belt, I want to shout out Eddie Pagan. I don't know if you guys know Eddie. Eddie's a Latino horror director here in New York City. He's been running the Latino Horror Festival for years down in the Lower East Side. So I love when we see the uniqueness of a genre come through and has sustainability. So let's talk about the genre and how it's grown. You guys with Los Espookys, I'm sure there's been other things that have spawned from it. Do you see this as a genre that's sort of gaining some traction? Tell me about how you feel the momentum is behind Latinos in horror.
I think that it's more than Latinos in horror for Los Espookys. It's Hispanic people doing weird experimental work and doing work that beats to its own drum that's like surreal and weird, and like showing that people from all sorts of walks in life are allowed to be like abstract and sort of like indirect that way.
Mhm.
I think Los Espookys is more fantasy actually than it is horror.
Mm.
But yeah, it's yeah. I don't know, Anna, if you agree.
No, I agree. I think also just kind of like in the US, at least, there seems to be like, with the show, like What We Do in the Shadows, also like, an interest or in like those, comedy horror sort of coming together. And our show is so different from What We Do in the Shadows. And I think that like we're both, playing with different genres and tropes and things like that. But I think that our show feels, a little more fantastical and surreal and absurd than horror.
What are some things that you guys are learning about yourselves through the characters that you play in Los Espookys?
Wow.
For me, it's not only about the character, but the people that I'm working with. I think that it's like when you're an athlete, you exercise a muscle, right? Or you train yourself. But as comics as they are, and they like comedy is like a way of living, I feel like they run the muscle all the time. So it's really nice to be like just near them, because they have always a different angle of a situation of life, and it's very uplifting. But I think about that, like, what would Anna think about the situation, right? Or what would Julio think about this situation? And it's very uplifting to have them in my life.
Love that so
Now
much.
go away, guys, like you shouldn't be
Oh.
listening to this.
I have learned a lot about acting through Cassandra, Bernardo, and Anna. And like, yeah, I've learned a lot because it's like, with Anna, I've seen her act a lot before Los Espookys, and so through her, I've gotten to know like the like writer performer, and through Bernardo and Cassandra, I've gotten to know like and really empathize with what it's like to be like dropped into a world that you didn't make. Yeah, no, I think I've learned a lot from there. Also, like seeing, because Anna directed the last 2 episodes of the season,
Whoop.
and seeing her direct and like apply what she knows of like acting through being an actor to like communicating with other actors was, I don't know, it was great and very very helpful to see.
And your character, where do you get that dark side? What's so dark about Andres? Andres has like that dark side to him. Where does that come from?
I think that he's just so selfish.
Mm.
Like like how vampires are just like obsessed with being vampires and they can only talk about their vampire things.
Right.
And that's sort of Andres. It's like the world exists just as a backdrop for him.
Hey, I would love to rewind a little and talk to Anna about directing the last 2 episodes. Could you tell us how that happened? That's interesting. First of all, congrats. You know what I'm saying? Just like female to female, I think that's super dope. Tell us about that fly ass experience and how did it come about? Was it something you were like, hey, I'm raising my hand? Or like, was it like, Anna, we bestow upon you the scripts for how does that work, yo?
So going into the second season, Julio and I knew, we were going to bring on a new director and also wanted to direct some of the season ourselves. And so we found Sebastian and we were fans of his work, Sebastian Silva, and he directed the first 4 episodes. And before the pandemic shut down production, the plan was that we would each direct 1 episode. And then when we were going to pick production back up 2 years later, Julio's schedule now no longer allowed for him he was finishing up his movie, so he needed to be, on set just in the capacity of an actor and didn't have time to do all the directing work as well. So we said, okay, I'll do the last 2 episodes then instead of just 1 of them.
Yo, but shout out to you for spreading your spooky wings, though.
Yeah,
Yo, I have one last question. This is for everybody. A lot of the listeners, the LOLeros, we call them, of Latinos Out Loud, are aspiring writers actors, directoras, directors. Like, what are some lines of advice that you have now? Just stop in the middle of your trajectory right now for a moment. And what are some key pieces of advice that you have for those future Julios, those future Annas, those future Cassandras, and those future Bernardos?
Okay.
They listening.
Let's
Están
go.
escuchando.
Let's go.
I think to not to stop trying to make your work look like work that other people like, or like and just do things that interest you, because those are going to be the best thing. So don't be like, oh, I want to make a show that's like, and then a show that exists. It's like, no, that show already exists.
Right?
I love that.
Yeah, and to find, if other like-minded people who are also interested in making TV or film or whatever it is you're interested in, because it's not a solo, job. It's like, it is a very collaborative process, and
Yeah.
it's so important to like meet other people that your sensibilities align with and that can work with down the line.
Totally. Yeah.
Right?
And you can see that among you guys. The chemistry is like pouring out of the atoms and the
Yep.
molecules.
Right?
And even now too, you could tell that y'all really love each other. Cassandra, Bernardo, any advice for the future yous?
I would say that you don't have to do something big. You don't have to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to. It's like we are so. We have this pressure about like doing everything, and sometimes it's like, when am I going to have an opportunity? And the opportunity is like every day. It's not about like what life is giving you, but what can you give to life. And sometimes you'll be in a situation and it's about what can you bring right there in that little specific moment. That's
Wow.
the opportunity to be creative.
Bernardo, please. Last but not least, Bernardo Velasco.
I think I'm not a good one to give advice, but what I will say is that what I learned from great people that I have the opportunity and the blessing to work with, not just in Los Espookys, but around, is that the patience, and like keep pushing and keep going, because there's going to be many obstacles in the way. And yeah, it's something that is going to be there every day. So we cannot just stop when we hit the first wall. We will try to figure out, and we try with patience and with love to keep going, because the goal deserve it. The goal totally worth it. And it's not easy sometimes. Sometimes it can be more close, the goal, but sometimes it's farther. But yeah, it's about time, I think.
It is about time. And it's about time you tune in and catch season 2 of Los Espookys, available September 16th on HBO. Shout out to you guys for all the success. Continue. Shout out to season 3. Hopefully that's coming to us. And thank you so much for making the time otra vez para the Latinos Out Loud podcast. We are here supporting you and waving flags behind you, okay?
All right.
Thanks for doing what you do.
No, Espookys in the house.
Yes.
That sounded like a fun time. I wish I was there. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch season 2 of Los Espookys. I really dug season 1, and yeah, that was like a really fun interview with the cast.
And Los Espookys is out. It debuted on HBO Max Friday, September 16th. So go ahead and stream it. Go ahead and absorb it. Have a good time. Get some popcorn. Put some gory decor around you. Maybe your home is already decorated for Halloween. This is perfect to watch. And also want to shout out like the creators behind Los Espookys: Fred Armisen, Ana Fabrega, Julio Torres, executive produced by Lauren Michaels, Fred Armisen, Ana
Lauren
Fabrega.
Michaels, holy
Yeah, and Julio Torres, along with Broadway Video. I want to shout out some of the writers here, written by Julio Torres, Ana Fabrega, Bernardo Brito, and Mara Vargas Jackson, and direct. So that's a great production, y'all. Support it. And now, should we do a Qué Lo Qué?
Let's go.
Let's do this.
Un, dos, tres, vamos a bailar otra vez. ¿Qué lo que? 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 Un, dos, tres, menéate otra vez. ¿Qué lo que? ¿Qué lo que? ¿Qué lo que? ¿Qué lo que? ¿Qué lo que?
All right, it is Que Lo Que time, everyone. You know, QLQ, your Out Q Club and Calendar. Do. This weekend, Hunka Bunka in Sayreville. That's not
Ew.
what this is.
Some local radio humor.
Yeah, well, you know it if you're in New York. You definitely know it if you're like in the tri-state area. Shout out to Jersey, dirty. Okay, so we got some Que Lo Que's, right? Anybody want to go Que Lo first, Que Lo second, Que Lo third?
Let me start with, because we got to give a super massive shout out to the crew at Yero.com.
Yero!
They are the news and lifestyle platform for Latino men. I have to change my accent for that.
Yero.
And this week, this is not very coincidental because we just had the Los Espookys on this episode. Now, Yero, this week, they're talking to the crew behind Los Espookys as well.
Ooh, it's
amazing.
spooky otra vez.
And they're talking to the crew about their return for season 2. So go see the Yero.com angle. You already heard our interview with them. See how Yero.com what they had to say about the Los Espookys and the crew and its return for season 2. So check it out at Yero.com. Shout out. There was some SNL news.
Yeah.
There's a new Latino.
Oh, snap,
New
yes.
Latino.
Cuban and Dominican. He's Cuban and Dominican, right?
Cuban and Dominican. His name is Marcelo Hernandez.
Yes.
Nice.
Four new people, but one
Nice.
Latino, and we gotta give him pride. We gotta support this dude.
Moving on up.
Oh yeah.
To the east side.
I would love to have him on the show. I've
Yeah.
reached out. I've already put the ask out. So,
Wow.
their response, I don't want to put it on blast, but basically, maybe in the future we can have him on the show.
Yeah.
But we want to wish him the best of suerte and luck, and to go out there and wave both his flags real high and real proud. And that's massive right now. That's crazy. We have a Dominican on SNL, y'all.
Incredible.
I mean, and he's also Cuban, but I'm just saying, Latinos, we outside. We are getting
out here.
more and more outside. So let's keep the outsideness going. Let's stay together outside, hold each other's hands outside, elevate each other outside. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just keep elevating one another. Jamie, you have some great announcements. Do you have any more?
I want to hear some Que Lo Que's from Frank Nibs.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea.
Mine's I just want to send some prayers out to Puerto Rico.
Yes.
And
yes.
there was just an earthquake in Mexico, and DR got hit by this hurricane also. So
yeah, Puerto
Rico's is getting hit real hard, man. I just want to send some prayers out there. It's not looking good.
Yeah, I have family there, and I don't even know what's going on, with what's so
yeah.
But I just feel like Mother Nature is just hitting Puerto Rico so hard in the last couple of years. Just they just need a break and they never get one. So I'm hoping it gets better, and the same for DR and Mexico. It's crazy right now.
Facts. If you want to send any funds out to Puerto Rico, there's a guy on IG I follow. His name is Power Maulu. He's official, man. He's this is the guy that you can go to his IG. He's a fixture in New York City, and he's really behind Puerto Rico all the time. He always advocates. He was in the UN fighting for Puerto Rico. And go to his page, man. I'm sure he has something going on for them always. And I just want to send prayers out to everybody. I hope we all, we'll get through this, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's support our brothers and sisters, check in with everybody. It's hard when you cannot communicate with a family member, yo.
Facts.
Ay, Dios mío. Praying for everybody out there, and hopefully Puerto Rico comes back. It will. It always comes back. Viva Puerto Rico. Okay, I'll do some really quick Que Lo Que's. I really want to shout out the New York City Department of Health and Hygiene for hiring your girl to be a comedy curandera up in the Bronx.
Gee.
Yeah, I got to perform up at Crotona Park in the
You
VX.
went to Crotona? Yo, listen. You should have told me you're going to Crotona, right? Because Crotona ain't no
My Crotona.
A lot of organizations represented, FDNY, the NYPD, you know, all the Department of Health and Safety and Hygiene. And I was really blown away by just how much the community loves to be engaged with and spoken to. And I really loved the foundation of this event, which was basically a mental health check-in. Like, how you doing, community? They brought
Alright.
me in with my
What up?
yeah, yo, they brought me in with my, you know, hype womanness. You know, I'm out there like a hype woman all day, every day, no matter where I am. I don't know what else to say. And they also wanted some comedy, but also some mental health check-ins with La Comunidad, who was present. I want to shout out something that I learned also. I got a tour of the NYC Department of Health and Hygiene's Health Action Center. There are 3 of these health action centers located throughout New York City. There is one in Brownsville, Brooklyn. There's one in East Harlem, and there's one right across the street from Crotona Park. Now, within these facilities, hear me out if you're in New York, within these facilities, there are things like breastfeeding support groups for women, lactation suites. If you don't have a place and you work in the area and you need to breastfeed or pump, you can go there for free and they welcome you with open arms, and the facility is so clean. They also give away free cribs. They give away free car seats. So if you're out there and in need, don't mind me for being an advocate right now, but when I toured the facility, I'm like, I know people that can benefit from this. You know what I'm saying? So listen, you need cribs, you need car seats. Let's keep these kids safe. Go to my Instagram page at Rachel La Loca. I just posted the addresses for all of these places and some more information. So that I also want to shout out, you know, everything that's been going on. I want to shout out Dykeman Beer real quick. I want to shout out Juan
That shit is
Camilo.
good. That's good beer right there, bro.
Dykeman
It's in
Beer.
Yankee Stadium. They got it in Yankee Stadium now.
You took the words right out of my mouth. You hit a home run with that, Frank. No pun intended, or was it? Yep, you can now go to Yankee Stadium and consume Dykeman beer. Also, they've got something coming up. You guys know Oktoberfest, right? Are you
Of
familiar with
course.
Oktoberfest?
Yeah.
Well, do you know about Oktoberfest?
Octubre.
Exactly.
Como?
Shout out to Juan Camilo and Dykeman Beer for having Oktoberfest. You have got to check out their Oktoberfest brew. It's so good. It's available, you know, go to his website and then there's a bar finder section. So yeah, that's it. Okay. Wait, you guys follow us, please follow us at We Are Latinos Out Loud. Oh, espérate. Shout out to We Are Latinos Out Loud, who made the Apple Latino Heritage Month list again. Y otra vez. Y otra vez.
What?
Y otra vez.
¿Y qué lo
Y
que?
otra vez. Soy Anthony Santo. Y nada más. Y nada más. That turned bachata real quick. But shout out to us and shout out to all the LOLeros who keep us on those lists. Thank you so much. You know what I'm saying? I always say this, you know, but I don't need a trophy to tell me how nice I am. Not to quote Tribe Quest. But it is certainly very encouraging to know that the folks somewhere at the Manzana know about Latinos Out Loud, our little baby that we've been feeding and hoping that it grows to feed others. Anyway, I just want to be 100 when I'm very thankful and appreciative to everybody who's putting us on these lists. We were also mentioned at a school. Hold on, this is really cool, guys, because what I really love too is when, yes, we get the love from the big conglomerates, you know, the big companies,
The big boys.
Right. But I also kind of love on the low when we get love from, like, you know, other types of institutions, and in this case, a cultural institution. So I have to shout out WPI. I believe it's Worcester, Massachusetts. Yeah, they put us on their Latino Heritage Month list, and it was like what to check out to be inspired by the strides that Latinos are making in this country. And under the podcast list, we were there.
Right?
Yeah.
Love that shit. Love
Thank
it.
you.
Massachusetts,
Thank you so much.
Massachusetts, Boston.
Yeah, Worcester, Massachusetts. It's a school called WPI.
Nice.
So thank you so much for that. Okay, Right. Okay. So we should close the show. We have a lot more to do here.
Mhm.
Thank you, everybody. Follow us at We Are Latinos Out Loud. Call us 978 Latinos. Twitter, Latinos Out Loud _ Rachel La Loca. We out.
Brah!